What's up, everybody? We are about to present to you a special edition of our show featuring, in our arguably best vert skater to date, Jimmy Wilkins. But some devastating news came our way in the form of Ken Block has tragically passed away. And we wanted to talk about Ken and what he meant to all of us. And we're all just kind of in disbelief and crushed by the news.
Yeah.
But he did so much for our industry. He did
for a lot of industries.
And for so many people that devoted their lives to what we do. Yeah. He raised them up.
Dude, he let me... I got divorced and my ex-wife was crazy and she didn't want to get out of the house. So he just said, you can live with me. And then I lived with him in his mansion. And then his house got flooded. So they had to go to a hotel, and he was like, you can just stay. The pool house didn't get flooded. So I just lived at his house by myself until I could get up on my feet. There was no question.
And that speaks to his character.
Right.
Like it was always just matter of fact too. It was never presented with some sort of like, oh, you owe me one.
No, nowhere near.
It was just like, yeah, of course, I'll do whatever you need.
His wife and him inspired me to grow up. Like they... work hard. Like even just Ken saying you can do it.
Yeah. And
him being so like to me, I'm like, Ken Block has it figured out, and he's like, you can do it. Right. I'm like, you think I can do it? It made me believe that I could do it because he had so much faith in me. And then DC having me on the team where I was clearly not a fit for that team. And he was like,
well, I wouldn't say that, but you might have been just a little bit wild.
Yeah, but he had some
wild ones on the team.
He did, but he always.
But then that's to his credit. Like he embraced the mix, the diversity of what we do, and it was just like, yeah, these guys are wild, but they rip, and let's promote everyone.
If you wanted to excel and he knew you, he was gonna give you the answers. Like, what? How do I do this? This is how you do it. Like, I will give you all my secrets. Like, I just want you to be successful. I want you to be happy. And he did so much. Like, there was a certain period there where if it wasn't for Ken, I don't know where I'd be. Really don't, man. Like, I was not skateboarding that well. I didn't have a radio career. And then when I had a radio career for the first couple of years, he still paid me to be on DC. And I'm like, I'm on the radio. I don't think I'm selling you any shoes. and just always had my back. Hoonigan starts and he's like, hey man, do some stuff for the Hoonigan guys. Another life-changing thing where those guys just always have me a part of their stuff. It's because of Ken, flat out.
Yep.
All those, like it's so sad to me because he was such a good guy and he's such a good dad and husband, and Lucy and his kids don't have their dad anymore and their husband, and it kills me, man, because he's such a good guy. That's not fair, you know?
What was amazing about him, too, is that he would do these ridiculous stunts and video projects and things and stuff that you think, wow, he's crazy in that sense, and then was the most stable dude.
Yeah, because he was calculated.
Yeah, calculated and like
still
you said,
dangerous, but I always felt safe with him.
Right.
You know, like he wasn't a guy that was.
If you knew he was doing something, it wasn't some sort of Evel Knievel crapshoot. It was like, oh, Ken's gonna do that. It's gonna work. It was never a question of
no. I'm like, let's go watch him do it.
Yeah, it's like, this is what he's got it. But also among after and doing all that, being such a great, like you said, father and husband, and being super solid. I hung out with him a couple times. I hung out with him in his Park City place.
Right.
And you could just tell that he was like, yeah, this is fun and there's success and there's excess, but kids got to go to bed. You know what I mean? Like,
grounded.
Got to get for school. Totally grounded. Yeah, always. And I have really fond memories of him.
When I talked to Colin about it, Colin was like, dude, we both wouldn't be sitting in these houses if it wasn't for him. And I'm like, yeah, you are actually right.
Yep.
And then I think about all the other people, snowboarding, motocross, everything he touched, anybody that was in that scene was fucking stoked because he just made your fucking life that much cooler.
I feel like he brought, and I know there are other players in this, but he brought Rally Car 2 from the fringes.
Yeah.
To a place where everyone knew about it.
Yeah. He made motorsports bigger.
Yeah, absolutely.
By himself.
By himself, yes.
He made a fucking sport.
By doing it well.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the other thing. Being a guy, he slept on Danny Way's couch and then he made a skateboard company. And now I'm like, wait, you're a rally driver? You're not the talent. You're not the talent. I remember saying you should kick me off because he got a medal in the X Games and I got 6th and didn't make it in the final. And I was like, what's the point of me?
On your team?
Yeah. He laughed at it, but I was right. He didn't need any of us.
When he first started Jor's Clothing, or was trying to, which, if anyone knows, that's what the name DC came from.
Right.
And I went and stayed with him and Matt in Colorado because they had a place together. Yeah. And Ken had the only car. He had a VW Rabbit. Remember, like 90 something. Yeah. And bald tires in the snow in Colorado. Yeah. Just whoa. I think maybe that's one of the first places he learned to drift. It might be. For real. Yeah. And then we would go and try to clip tickets at places that allow snowboarding.
That's what he.
that was like, those were the dark days.
Right.
But I have such fond memories of that.
Right. Yeah.
You know, we just get in his car and he left it on lock because he kind of was hoping it would get stolen so you could collect insurance on it.
Very smart guy.
He was. He was.
But to go from that to where he was.
To go from that to the crazy success of
and never
of
got
DC.
egotistical about it. He's rare. He's like you, dude. There was a thing where it was like, you're Ken Block.
And just kept hustling.
And he's like, dude, please calm down. Yeah. And I'm like, I will not. Like, you look at your video.
Yep.
You're crazy. And it was never, I never saw him walk into a room like, that's right, I am here. Like a lot of people when they get to that think like that.
I got to go on a heli trip with him almost exactly a year ago. It was right before I got hurt. And, we, of course, that's crazy. I don't know. It's expensive, and we're excited to do it. We don't get to do it very often. Yeah. But we shared a helicopter, and at some point, it was just like, can you believe we get to do this still? Yeah. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. And he ripped.
Yeah.
Ripped. Like, I'm not talking about just, he can get down, and do little slashes. Shreds. It was like, oh, he's gone.
Dude, he is also a ridiculously good motocross rider.
Right.
And that was just like, I remember we discussed it. I grew up riding moto. I was like, dude, calm down. I will destroy you. Yeah, and then we went to the track and I was like, I am really incorrect. Like, he is 1,000 times better than me. Who are you? How did you know that?
It was almost like he wouldn't do it unless he knew he was going to get good at it.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I would I'm not saying that in some term like he was pompous about it. It was just more like, oh, I like doing this. I'm going to focus in on it and rip.
Yeah. And again, you wouldn't know unless you saw a video because he won't talk about it like that.
Right.
Unlike myself.
Yep.
Who would notify the shit out of you that I'm awesome. But he's one of the greatest men I've ever met in my life, and one of the few people that helped me more than anybody in my whole life. Wisdom that he passed down, obviously career-wise, opened so many doors for me, and then gave me that confidence to keep going and believe in myself because he believed in me. And it was reassuring as fuck that he believed in me. So I was like, this guy is a very smart guy. And he wouldn't bullshit me. He'd also not bullshit you.
Yep.
And I'm like, if he thinks that, then it's true. Because he knows that it is. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, if he knows, it's true.
And a true game changer.
Yeah. For so many. That's the thing that you think it's just you because you live in your own little shell. I'm like, man, Ken Block. Whoa. So many times, and then I look at Todd Richards and all the people in snowboarding and all the Jeremy, the Ricky Carmichaels, and like he helped everybody. He made every scene more exciting to be around, and it motivated other people to be creative and take off as well. And it will never end too. That's the other thing. It will all of us are still going from the things that he passed to us, and that will continue.
His
for
legacy
generations.
is huge.
Yeah.
My wife and I are talking about he lived 1,000 lifetimes.
Yep.
Like the stuff that he created and succeeded at and helped. And we're just gonna miss him. We're gonna miss him terribly. And I hope that all of you out there understand his importance, and that he was an icon of our industry. And we're just, our condolences, our sincere condolences, and our hearts go out to his family, his loved ones. And hug your loved ones. Life is precious.
I love you, Ken Block. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. And with that, check out our episode with Jimmy Wilkins, because he is an inspiration, and it's going to be the opposite end of emotions when you listen to it. That's my segue. Thanks, everybody. Stay safe. Hello, hello.
Oh, g'day.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to very special edition Hawk vs. Wolf.
Yeah.
With the incomparable Jimmy Wilkins.
Welcome to the show, mate.
Hello,
the show.
thanks for having me.
We should have had you on a long time ago, considering how much we lean into Vert talk.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out a way to, because if you know Jimmy, and you know how good he skates. But if you don't know, it's like one of those things that only other Vert skaters know how magnificent Jimmy is.
I think my best description is he is your favorite skater's favorite Vert skater.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the best guy in the world, and he has the best style in the world and the best trick selection in the world.
I agree.
He does. And to know, because I think
We can let him talk, though.
No, he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it.
Oh, okay.
I need to get this out before he fucking just be like, I skate. It's cool. The greatest alive. And to have the style, there's been very few people in this whole game of skateboarding where they have had the best style and the best trick selection. And it's really like, it's Christian Osoy and it's Chris Miller in the Vert scene. That's it. That's all I'm giving it to. Everybody else had a couple of decent moves. Jason Jesse had a good air to fakie, but it's not, this is the levels that, like, especially
He's
somebody
carrying the torch.
I left and then came back, and to see what you're doing is it. I get verklempt thinking about it.
It's true.
Because I'm so proud to know that there's a new era and that you're here doing what you do, because it's amazing.
Oh man, that's super nice.
I love it.
All right, we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys don't. If you don't skate, then it's going to be hard to understand. I don't know.
You know
about,
what though? Okay, there is something, and we want to get into it, but there is something that I've noticed where there are very few Vert skaters, especially, that can transcend to the interest of hardcore street skaters.
Right.
And I watch street skaters watch you and no one else on the ramp. You know what I mean? Like, oh, look what he's doing. And like, yeah, exactly.
Oh man, that's nice.
That's fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I just skate, man.
I knew it. That's how you got to be. It's one way or the other.
Okay, let's go back. What do I know? I know you used to skate Ollies.
Ollies, yeah. Ollies wasn't my local skate park, but it was the closest like vert ramp to me.
So how did you get drawn to Vert if there was no Vert ramp near you?
I think it was kind of like there wasn't much of a skate scene where I was, or maybe there was, but I wasn't connected to it. So everything that I saw of skateboarding was like either through like your video games or the X Games, and that's pretty. And I mean, at the time, it was like the Gravity games and whatever.
Right.
But, so all I saw was that, and the street stuff didn't really translate very well because I didn't know anything about skating. But I think vert skating is kind of like a spectacle, and when you see it, it like really draws you in. And that's all I wanted to do since I saw it. But
From the get-go.
From the get-go, yeah. I was pretty
That would have made
obsessed
you a
with it.
rare, like in your skateboard
I was
friends.
weird, yeah.
Right?
So that
was
would be
really weird.
late 90s, mid 90s,
That was early 2000s.
early 2000s.
Yeah.
What a rough time to start as a ice skater.
Yeah.
It didn't like, it was a bit frustrating because it didn't seem like it was, like it was a very in your face, like there's a lot of stuff to watch of vert skating. It was just mostly like contests and stuff. It was just like, where are these things? Like I would be searching the internet every day trying to find like.
Well, at least you had the internet.
How far was Ollie's?
Ollie's was like 2.5 hours.
Okay, it was right outside of Cincinnati, right?
Oh yeah, old talker.
We're loud.
Yeah, and so I think it's where like the Cincinnati airport is. It's in Kentucky, but it's like.
Wait, Cincinnati, does that mean it snows?
It's
Holy
indoor.
shit
Shit, does it snow? Yeah.
Indoor skate park. That was a good vert ramp.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah,
Yeah, we had a
Pain
couple
ramp. Yeah.
birdhouse
You guys came
demos
through?
there. Wasn't there was like a big oververt section too?
Yeah, that crazy extension.
Deadly.
Yeah,
Deadly
really
vert oververt extension.
Yeah,
On purpose or
on
accidentally?
purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what? Like 3/4 or?
It was mellow enough to where you could do a trick on it, but the only person I'd ever seen do a trick on it was you. I'd heard people done
Wait, so
tricks
the
on
ramp
it.
just, there it is, but nobody did anything on it?
No,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
just one section.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But one
Just
section.
one extension.
Nobody was doing
You
anything
could
on
do
it.
like kick turns on it. Or
Right,
like,
but he was the first person to do
he
a
was
trick.
the only person I ever saw do
I
it.
remember there was a Vans contest way back, and they made a 3/4
Oh, that
in
one
the
was
corner,
deadly.
and it was proper 3/4. Like
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
way past Vert, and him and Miller were the only two people to do a trick on it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was just like everyone was like, "Look how cool that thing is to look at."
Yeah.
What would you do on it?
yeah,
You did rock
I did rock
on
fakie.
it.
Yeah,
It
I
was like,
saw that.
what
I
the
saw
f-
footage of that recently, actually.
So
Miller
gnarly.
grinded it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure really what they were thinking doing it. They were probably just like, this is rad. And if
Yeah.
someone does anything on it, it's going to
Yeah.
be
But I
sick.
mean, it is funny. Also, I mean, it's funny, but it's also a bit of a bummer that they create this vert ramp, the only one within hours of anything, and then they choose to put some impossible
Right.
obstacle on it.
Yeah, but no one was skating it anyways.
That's true.
It was like
Everyone's
the
skating the flat
ground.
bottom. Yeah.
That's so
It
crazy.
was the mani pad.
So
but-
you're like you're from the Vert era where, like the early '90s for us was,
Right. Just
where
like,
it was just like
yeah.
I remember skating my home ramp and it was everybody quit and it was rollerbladers
yeah.
and I was
Yeah.
on the ramp with like 6 or 7 rollerbladers, pissed.
Yeah.
God, I was angry.
It was definitely a rough scene. Like if any kid was interested in it, it would last like a few months, you know, like they'd take a good slam and be pretty over it. Just
Right.
get them in your hand.
But so you're nearly 3 hours away. How often did you get to skate it?
I would say like in the beginning, it was maybe like once a year, like when I was really
Once a
getting
year?
started. Yeah. By the time like I was in high school and I was kind of getting back into skating and more interested in it, I would go like maybe once every other month. And then when I got a car, I was kind of going every weekend, but I was kind of getting over it because there's no one to skate with.
Wow.
And then I just
man.
moved out here.
And then
you moved out here for skating.
Mostly just to get out of Ohio, but
Yeah.
I wanted to skate vert all the time, and this is kind of the place to do it.
So kind of accidentally you moved here to be a pro skateboarder,
It was this or Orlando, and
but not with the dreams of being a pro skateboarder.
oh God, no,
Just get
no,
out
no.
of.
I wasn't. I wouldn't say I was like very. I was okay, but I wasn't very good. And
Yeah.
the kids that were coming up at the time were like Mitchie and Tom and Jono, and they were doing like 1080s and stuff. And I was like, I'm not even.
But they were going towards mega stuff.
They were that was kind of earlier in the
I
mega
see.
days. It was like they were doing it, but I mean the stuff they were doing on Vert was like so out. It was just outside of what I thought I could ever be able to like compete with. And every amateur contest, I was just like pretty middle ranked, and like I'm this like gawky like 17-year-old kid with these like 13-year-old prodigies, and I was like, this sucks.
So what clicked?
I mean, I think being able to skate vert like every day
What
probably
ramp
helped.
was the ramp that you
We skated the Y a lot. That was
Okay.
kind of the ramp at the time, and then started coming here eventually. But
The Y with the big rolling on the end.
yeah. It was
I
the
shit
old
myself on
X
that
Games
roller.
one.
I
You shit
think
yourself.
I think it was hardcore.
I was used to the mega ramp. I didn't expect it to be so tight when I got to the bottom.
Yeah.
I had a big night.
That thing whipped for sure.
Bit of a shot.
We've all
to go
been there.
Say a bit of a shart.
Yeah,
I started laughing before I even got to the other side. I was like, no way. I'll see you guys later.
yeah.
I was like, did you hurt your back or something? I'm like, no.
No, but I have to leave.
Just waddling out of the ramp.
Tough.
Yeah, we've all taken a good like slam like that where you're like, oh no, and just
It's
you
good to know that
Oh, the butt
everybody
splitter.
has.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone gets the butt splitter.
yeah, everyone's been there.
So what was there a day or a week or a year where all of a sudden you were like, oh, I've got another level I didn't know.
Not really. I was going to school at the time, and I was skating with Marcelo, and he was like, "Oh man, you should like come to this contest in Brazil." And I was like, I don't know if I really like do that anymore.
Like no sponsors,
No I was getting some boards from Greenish at
but
the
you
time.
pay for yourself to go.
Yeah. And
Okay.
and I ended up going, and I did like way better than I was expecting to do. I think I got like 6th or 5th or something, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that was pretty cool, but that's probably it, kind of thing.
Was there prize money?
Yeah, there's some prize money. I
Not
think
enough for the ticket though, right?
probably not. But I mean, when you're like 18 or 19, like to go to Brazil and skate with all my heroes on a like that's all I wanted.
I flew myself to Munster, Germany for the World Cup.
Yeah.
I was nobody, and then I got 6th. Yeah, I think I got 6th, and all of a sudden I was on the map, and
Yeah.
I was allowed to go on tour, not paying for it.
Yeah. It's
Slept
pretty
in Matt Hensley's room. Thanks, Matt Hensley, for letting me sleep on your carpet. There are a few people that hooked me up when I was there.
It's pretty funny. Like I kind of just, and I think it was combi, like was kind of how it actually started. Was I did okay at combi, and then
But what did you like skating pools?
no.
Just did it because that was. I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you on that.
It
for
was
sure.
kind of just another contest I could do, and it was like in town, so to speak. And I just went and I did okay. And then they invited me to do Tour Bowl, and then it was kind of like they needed a guy for the vert contest.
Yeah.
So, and then I, ended up making like one of the final rounds because they used to do like super finals or something. And then I think Bucky was the only other guy on Rockstar, so they sponsored me for like the thing, but then it turned into more, and I was like failing out of school because I was doing like it just kind of like happened by accident, sort of.
Sweet.
That's pretty amazing. But it's crazy that the springboard was a pool event.
Yeah, I mean
That's shocking to me.
And in the world of vert skating, it's kind of like the openness of qualifying and stuff was it just like, I mean, now and at that time it just didn't exist,
Right.
Which sucks, but luckily the Vans combi thing was there for me to
Yeah.
get it going, even though I suck at
because
that thing.
in the bowl, it's not as vert skating. It's like it's like almost park, and park's almost street. So
Yeah.
you're not that uncool. Like it was accepted for a while.
That was the feeling.
It
of
was,
for
right?
sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I just remember seeing magazines every now and then. I'm like, oh, who isn't in the pool now?
Yeah. That was kind of actually like the boom of like they were doing that thing on the beach that turned into the Park Series kind of thing. Like that was kind of the boom of like
Oh, the
transition
the US
skating,
Open.
so to speak. Yeah.
Yep.
But it was like when
Converse
I was a kid.
Carnage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I mean, yes, I was already established as a vert skater, but I was just doing that because that's all there was.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
doing the Converse Carnage, the Combi event, Bondi, and it all
That's right.
felt like, I want to say a struggle, but it felt like a compromise.
It is, yeah. If
It's like, okay, I'll skate this thing and I'll try to do a 540, even though that would have been super easy on a vert ramp.
Right.
yeah. It definitely feels. It can feel like a compromise for sure. I definitely get that. But it definitely was sort of the reintroduction of transition skating into skating. It kind of felt
Sure.
like at the time for sure.
Yeah.
Even though it was still happening, it was just like they needed like almost like a gateway drug into vert skating or something.
Or to appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if you skate a bowl for a while and then you see what people do on a vert ramp, you're like, oh, like
Right.
that's, you know.
Yeah, we've covered that extensively.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to
On
continue.
our curmudgeon on our curmudgeon mission.
The Vert Curmudgeon podcast.
So I have, I definitely have more into the weeds questions, but what I do want to say or ask you about is I feel like you've unlocked some ancient secret that no one figured out on how to ollie at a totally different level. Do you know what I'm saying? Like his frontside ollies are way beyond anything that we've imagined or knew before. And in so much control, alley-oop, disaster. And what about disasters? Like that was another thing. How did you ever get confident with doing disasters at 6 feet out and not thinking you're going to either break your board or hang up?
The first time I ever saw skating in person was at Woodward, and I was like,
oh, it's got to be Fraser.
I was Fraser, and I was so stoked that there's a vert ramp there that the first day I just went straight to the ramp and walked up the stairs, and the first thing I saw was Fraser do a frontside air hang up. And I was like,
he was doing them fast.
And so
pretty big too.
Yeah, big and fast and like powerful. And I was just like, that was always like kind of burned into my brain, sort of.
That's how you do it.
Just that was a thing.
Yeah,
I guess, you know. And then,
but I just to clarify, Fraser does them super fast, and he always had the best ones for sure, like in terms of that era. But the way Mike does it, he hits his wheels first before, so that he doesn't break his board, which is totally understandable.
Right.
But somehow you've gotten it to like, it's like you're doing faster laps. You know what I mean? Like suddenly he figured out a way to do it actually faster than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It barely makes sense.
Right.
Well, I'm not sure either.
Are you trying to hit your wheels at the same time as your board?
I think it's mostly like when you're coming down, it's just like extending
how you use your legs.
I think it's more like that kind of thing, but I'm not really sure.
You son of a bitch.
Do you ever get up there and you know that's the plan and then go, nah?
No, not if I'm in a good spot. If I'm in a good spot, it's fine. Like the higher you go, the harder it is to be in a good spot. Like
yeah, I would imagine.
If you're a little too over the deck, you know you're gonna like stall on the deck longer than you want to, and that can kind of be dangerous. And if you're too far out, you don't want to like really be stretching for it because you can't like.
You will hang up.
You'll hang up.
Have you hung up?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah. I've definitely paid the price of learning that.
I think there's a collective sigh of relief from vert skaters out there.
I did feel better about that.
I was gonna say, like, has he ever? Yes, he has.
Yeah.
Did
paid
it
the
start
price.
like 2 foot and then you progress? Like
The backside ones I learned kind of on accident. Like I used to do at the Y, I'd do backside ollies on the extension, like warming up. And I think one day I was kind of just hangy and I like.
fuck off. And you made it?
It wasn't like a big one, but it was like, oh, I can kind of air into these, like
Sick.
just enough to know that. So I keep like drifting away from
Son
it.
of a bitch. That's so crazy.
Do you know that I'm gonna keep suggesting this because I know it's gonna happen. But I floated the idea of a 540 disaster to him.
Yeah.
And he tried it, and it looked sick.
Would you do that straight up and down because you can't carve, right?
Yeah, I think maybe like you could slightly carve it. I was thinking maybe alley oop for a second,
Right.
like that.
I still have that video, and I still sometimes refer to it. Like it's in my favorites.
I've tried it since, and I should have done it that day because it wasn't ever as close as that.
Really?
Day. Yeah. Well, I don't do like nose grab fives like straight like that very often.
I see.
Or at all, really. But that, I don't know.
Yeah, imagine nose grab 5, like you're, just even aiming for a Narjar, which is just frightening, and then he's looking at I'm going all the way over.
No.
Well, I wanted to learn gnar jars, and then I can't really body jar very well. So I was like, maybe that's like, more my like.
Maybe I could teach you.
That'd be nice, actually.
That's the one thing we got.
Not
Body
apparently
jar.
I don't.
We got body
anymore.
jar. Oh, that's right.
I'm
Well, that's
scared
why.
to
That's
do
why
one
he's scared to
again.
do them
Yeah,
because of what happens.
I've definitely gotten that one too. That's why I'm scared of like. I used to do like kind of bigger like lean details and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I just hung up on one, and I was like, I don't think that's for me.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped doing backside disaster reverts because that one time my wheels clipped
Oh.
and I went down on my back. I was like, I have been playing with fire
Yeah.
for a long time, and that's the end of it.
It's usually scary when you don't think you are, and then you get caught up and you're like, oh, I was.
Yeah,
Like,
I was. No wonder everyone freaks out when I do that trick.
Yeah. I think with disasters, I've always kind of understood it's like a bit dangerous. So if I get burned doing it, that's like okay, But when you don't think it's dangerous and you get burned, it's somehow worse.
Okay, what about I don't even know how to explain it, but the sugarcane thing you do where it turns into like a switch crook.
Oh,
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
yeah, it's like backside 270 switch
Backside
crook.
270 switch crook.
Yeah.
How we never thought of that.
I thought of it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you try it?
Yeah. And then I was like, it can't be done. I was wrong.
I saw you do it, and I went to try to get into it, and as soon as I like even scooped my tail, I was like, "No way are you going to even get
That's
in
what
that
I said, yeah.
position?"
Let's see. So I'd heard stories of Max like kind of doing them by accident almost,
Yeah.
like going to do a back tail and like kind of getting in the truck. So I'd kind of like heard
Which
that
Max Schaff?
Max Schaff, yeah. So I'd kind of heard that it was like either done or doable. And then when I did the loop slam, I was just like,
Oh yeah, we have to talk about that.
I was just thinking
Wait,
about
you
it.
slammed in
like,
the loop?
Oh yeah,
He took
took a good one.
took the slam.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I took the Schaefer.
Oh, wow.
Except no neck, luckily. But
Oh,
but I had a lot of time to kind of think
Ponder.
instead of just ponder what choices I've made with my life. But I was just thinking about that trick a lot, and I was kind of like, oh, maybe like if you kind of like, instead of going up to it, you kind of like drop down.
But
into it.
had you done sugar canes before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'd already been familiar with like the twisting kind of thing. And then when I came back, it was like, I think maybe like the first thing I did, cause I'd just been, when you're thinking about something and then.
Oh, I've had a lot of
it
time to
kinda
be thinking
clicks.
lately. Oh yes.
Yeah. It can help. I mean, sometimes it's helpful to just like think about things first.
There you go. There's sage words.
wow.
This
Sometimes
is
it's
like the
helpful to think about
opposite
things.
of Mitchie's podcast. He'll like
It just
walk you
tells
through
me that-
every step,
I know,
and I'm
right?
like, I don't know.
No, I feel you though. I have a specific trick that I have been pining for. It's not the most outrageous or,
Yeah,
difficult or will it move the needle, but it's what I want to do when I get back.
right. But I what I mean by that is like, if you get stuck trying something a lot, you're not really like thinking about if you're
You're
approaching
just making
it
the
in the
same
right
mistake
way.
over and
yeah,
over.
Yeah.
Yep.
So sometimes it's good to kind of take a step back, and I'd probably.
How long were you
tried that.
out?
6 months maybe. It's pretty.
Wow.
Pretty decent.
So he
yeah.
went. We had the loop up. I don't remember the specifics, but Jimmy started getting it very quickly. But you showed up later, right? Or no?
No. It was just me and Felipe, and
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And-
it was not the group session.
no. That was Tom.
Yeah, that was Tom
And
and Riley.
Riley.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'd kind of like hit me up like the day before or something. And I was like, yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot. Like I do want to try it. And when I started trying it, it was just working.
He had it
Yeah.
immediately.
It was
It makes sense.
It was
Like
going
immediately
good.
to the point where there was no I couldn't give advice. It was just like, oh, he's
Just
got
do
it.
that.
There it is. Yeah.
So then
And
you've
then
got it down.
just caught a bad one.
Got it down. Did it like
So you did do
twice
it.
almost. Like did one where I almost did the Riley, maybe got a little bit lower.
Fell forward.
And then the
Okay.
next one I got like maybe 3 feet into the flat and kind of just kept falling forward. And I was like, I just need a little bit. and then
just
yeah,
Did
just spun
the
out.
shootout.
Yeah,
Catapulting in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
it was still a really fun experience. It was cool. It was really cool. Yeah.
Sounds traumatic.
I mean, not that part, but like the whole day was really fun.
Oh, he was just laying there and awake,
Yeah.
conscious. And the last visual I had was him eating pizza as they got him on a stretcher into the ambulance.
Yeah. Well, when you have to have surgery, they like stop you from eating.
Yeah.
And I knew my arm was like pretty broken. So I thought I should.
I thought it was your hip or your pelvis.
I broke my pelvis, but I thought it was like dislocated because
Oh,
there's
I
like
see.
a weird pressure, and I was like, I don't know what that is. Like maybe my hip's dislocated, but I ended up breaking like both my arms and my pelvis.
Oh.
Yeah, it was
And so he's just munching on pizza.
probably
Then
in
he's gone.
shock, you know.
Well, man, I hate to say it, but maybe I could help you with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I think that was
man.
the day that I decided like this, I don't want to do this anymore. Put out
yeah.
the open invite.
Yeah.
And because the people who truly could do it got broke off,
Yeah.
you know?
It's one of those things where it's like just as easy to do it as it is to like fuck up doing it, I think.
yeah,
like
I've lived both sides
yeah,
of that.
as you know.
And you're
yeah.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it seems like when you do it, you're like, oh man, it's not really
Yeah.
like athletical.
No,
It's
no,
more like-
you are just
It's
standing
just-
there,
yeah,
like for
but-
sure.
But
But you gotta stand there in just the right way.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So 6 months.
6 months. A lot of calls from Sturt then, you know, bragging about how he did it and I couldn't do it.
what a dick. Even though I
It's
just
funny.
did it, I just did it.
Yeah. It's so funny.
He's such a
It's so
dickhead.
funny. Yeah. No, it is.
That must have felt good.
It was funny.
Yeah.
You know, it's Sturt. Like it's funny coming from him for sure. But it wasn't the recovery wasn't like too bad. The pelvis was a little weird because
Is it still weird?
a little bit like my legs aren't quite the same length as they were before. Like they're just slightly off. And for a while I felt like I was like standing on a slope all the time.
Yeah.
But
Which foot, the front or the back?
the back foot's longer. So I hit
Yeah,
the
so
top
it
of the
makes it-
pelvis, so it shifted it like down.
They can't even it out?
They said it's not worth to do surgery on it.
you
But so
do-
did that cause you to fall forward when you started skating again?
Yeah, I had like a little bit of I'd
Yeah.
pump and
So I did the
Lean,
same.
yeah.
Mine was the other way.
you'd pump and back.
So I was shooting out
yeah.
a lot.
Right.
And one time we made the channel pretty big here. I think we made it 16 or 20.
Mm-hmm.
And I went down the roll in and did a setup air, but I was still not balanced well because I had the same thing. I thought I was balanced well, but I was in the back seat. And when I did my setup air and came across the flat, my tail broke off
Dude.
across the flat.
It just snapped.
Snapped off because I was still leaning too far back. Luckily, it happened there
Yeah.
instead of like at the gap. But
Did you
that
get
was
like a
not
splits
really.
kind of
It kind of just went away, and my
Okay.
foot, and then I just kind of fell. And I remember looking around, and Staub was here, and he's like, "What was that?" That was my tail
thing?
breaking.
You didn't get
Away.
hurt?
Not that bad,
Yeah.
but I did have a couple of instances where I thought everything was good, and I just shot out. Probably what you're saying is that
Yeah.
you were just falling forward, but then somehow we just learned to adapt.
Yeah,
I guess,
Yeah,
right?
I mean it's kind of not that there's anything cool about injuries, but it is kind of the cool thing about injuries is that like you will just kind of adapt to whatever the new thing.
Do you
is.
feel like anything is hindered since then?
I mean, there's some like tightness and stuff. Like I'm probably have to take a little bit more time off not skating because everything just kind of tightens up in my hips, but and I have to do like a lot more PT and stuff. But
Do you do that?
Still.
That was going to be one
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
Do you like train any
yeah, I don't do like
strength and conditioning or anything?
yeah,
like that?
it's pretty like mellow stuff. I'm not like doing like Olympic lifting, like maybe a little bit of lifting, but nothing. Like I'm not trying to get big. I'm just trying to keep my joints good and like.
Do you do yoga?
No, I'm really unflexible.
Really?
Yeah,
You seem like you're like when you do backside ollies and you tweak your legs. I'm like, how the fuck do you do that?
I'm flexible in like one way, and everything else is just like completely tight. Like I can't touch my toes. Like
What?
No, not even close. Like pretty close today.
That
Today's
makes
a good
no
day.
sense.
yeah.
Fucking weirdo.
I love how you give everyone hope out there.
Yeah. You don't have to even
Think
know
about
what you're doing.
yeah.
No,
He doesn't even know how he does it.
I don't even know where I am right now.
You're just behind the ramp.
Oh, okay.
Finally.
All right.
Yeah.
Finally on this side of the ramp.
Yeah, where the old people hang out.
Just took knocking on the glass, I guess.
Yeah.
You're also one of the few people, and I can count like on one hand how many people that this ramp is not wide enough for.
Yeah.
He has to pull it in. Do
Yeah.
you ever see that? Like he does a backflip across the entire long wall, and then he has to like carve his way up and slow down just to stay on the ramp.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't happen for many people.
Trick selection.
Trick selection.
Perfect.
But I see you, like, especially when you're going front side across the wall without the channel, and then I see you have to slow down just to stay on the ramp.
Yeah, well, I kind of like
To
trying
cut
to
in.
like. I like getting close to that edge. Like it's just fun.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
It's because like when you go
It's the ultimate. That's why.
when you go really close to that edge, you can like almost like see down into the street course, and it makes it just feel really fast.
Oh my god! Now I'm happy. Now I'm happy you're on the show because I would have never guessed that that's something you're thinking about.
Now I'm back on your side. Like he's.
Yeah.
Why would you do
So
that?
fun 'cause look at the big gaping hole over here.
Well, when you go like, even if you're a few feet away, like everyone that's standing there and like the wall and stuff, like it's not going by as quick.
Yeah.
But if you can get really close to the edge, you just feel like you're going really fast.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is terrifying.
Yeah. Do you race cars or anything? Like, do you like
No,
you go faster than anything else?
I was driving really fast for a while, and I just had too many like tickets and stuff, so
Right.
had to like pull that back.
So you are a natural speeder, though.
I do like it. It's fun for sure. But it's only fun. It's not fun if you're like in an open, like, you know, if you're just going, like you need something to tell you you're going
obstacles.
fast,
Right.
you know? And here that's kind of like just the edge of the ramp.
Yeah. Adrenaline.
Yeah, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what are some I don't know, dream tricks or projection tricks that you have been thinking about?
I think like the front side ollie 5 is kind of like
Oh yeah,
a big dream trick.
yeah.
I
I feel like Bob might have explored that.
He
For a hot minute.
He did front 3, which is like the closest thing I've seen to like an ollie 5
Yeah.
front side.
Didn't Eddie do that too?
Oh, tail grab front side 5.
Yeah.
No, front tail slide front 360.
Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure.
That's so wild.
Isn't
know,
that
right?
insane to think
Yeah.
about?
I did it. Remember when the street courses had like a big bank and then a jump ramp in the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a front side 3 to like pivot around.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, I did a front side ollie 540.
Yeah.
That's
I know.
maybe
I
like
did.
a good way to think about it though. You
Right.
do like a
In surfing, that would have been a 180.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just an air or something.
an air reverse. But that would be exciting
It
to see that.
It would be. I haven't even tried them. I've just been like thinking about it, but
You haven't tried it, really?
I've done some like front threes and started looking, but it was kind of like part of the reason I learned like the lean ones was because I wanted to learn how to like spin flat front side.
God, that's gonna be so good. Like, so it's a flat.
Because I thought it would be like a gateway into like, you know.
But your
flat.
lean fives look like crossbones. You know what I mean? So I don't picture that as an ollie.
No,
technique.
That's kind of where I messed up. Was like it's not really the right grab to like learn how to.
Did you see?
You know,
he did one the other day. I shot it, but he went down
just
trying to
slammed,
make
yeah.
one.
No.
It was rough.
Yeah, there's.
You could tell he just
really
like
blind.
wasn't sure. Hail Married it, overturned, just boom.
Yeah, it was a good stunt.
And then got up and did it again. Made it.
Youth.
Yeah.
What about have you done sevens?
Yeah. I used to do mute sevens.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think that I'm putting this out there. You're the guy to do ollie sevens.
I got real close.
You did?
Yeah. At the DC ramp going off the offset.
Oh, yep.
Which is kind of like.
No, it works for me. No, it actually, when that ramp was built, Colin hit me up and said, I think this is the ramp for ollie sevens.
That's the obstacle for it.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
But I did not have the technique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And trying them on the flat wall, it's like, maybe I got to learn like fakie ollie fives or something. Cause getting it on your feet, like if I can get to fakie, I'll just slide it around. Like I don't care.
Right.
But getting it even there is like a weird bouncing.
And it starts
thing.
I've tried them on regular vert and it just starts to float away right when you need it.
Yeah. Yeah. That last where
Yeah.
you want to push it is kind of right where it starts going.
It's exciting.
Holy shit. You think you'll do a 900?
I've gotten pretty close when I was younger. But I was trying them like pretty low. Like I think it might be like easier to spin them now, but I don't really have like a huge desire to do it
Right.
because I think other people can just do it so good that like
Yeah.
why would I do a really shitty
Well,
one?
but if you do one, it'll be the best one. It
It'll
will be.
And it'll be the best line.
I don't know.
Everybody else that can do a 9 is so happy to hear that you don't have any interest in it.
They're really hard. you
Yeah,
know?
nah,
They're-
that's a good argument too. There's that.
They're really hard. I think I'd really like to do a 7 to fakie. That one's always interested me because it's just like
Like Bucky, Indy, or
what I really
Any
want to
type.
do Mick Twist revert. I feel like
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that like Danny Mayer got pretty close to one.
you ever
back
see
in
that?
the day.
Danny Mayer.
Yeah.
And it just seems like a really beautiful trick to like doing like mute back threes to me is the hardest way to
That's
do one.
yeah, no.
Because it's completely locked up. You're completely blind. Like,
Yeah, and it's a good chance you're not going to land straight.
no, for sure.
I never, I was happy to do any other grab.
Did
Yeah.
you do varial ones though?
What's that?
Did you not do?
Yeah, but I could time that right.
Yeah.
I can't explain it.
I
It's
think,
easier than just a regular.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because usually when you do a back three, you can kind of like look down the line from where you took off and get a good reference for,
Yeah, like backside ollie, you can see the
for
landing.
how far you are.
Yeah.
You know? But mute, you're like, your arms
Your
block
shoulder
off
blocks
solid,
it,
yeah.
right?
So maybe varial, you could get a little peak or something.
Did you open up for a second?
Yeah, I don't know what it was about
Yeah.
that made it work though. I think it's the takeoff grabbing melon
Oh,
that
yeah.
helped
Okay.
because your
Your
body
shoulders
knows.
open for a little bit.
Well, and also your body just knows what the 3 should be. When you grab like Weddle, it's just like, where am I? I don't know. And you want to go 5 because
Yeah.
that's instinct, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. There's our
Oh, cool.
super nerdy talk.
Glad I didn't have to try that. Thanks, guys.
It's funny that it works so well on a 5 because it's like you're blocked and then it's like open.
Yeah.
But when you're doing it 360, it's just,
Yeah.
you're,
Hope it works.
you're guessing. Yeah.
I feel like that. I obviously did 540s Weddle first, but once I got backside 540s down, the other grab it was harder.
Yeah.
I never really understood why. 'Cause
Yeah.
I just was like, you know what? That one is like a 50-50. and my backside one is like a 99%er.
Yeah.
And just slowly drifted away.
Yeah.
I was just like, why do that when?
Yeah.
And tail grab.
But everyone
that
just
was
has.
easier.
Yeah. Those I swear that's like it's so open. You see everything.
Yeah.
You're just pulling it like along. But I'm glad I learned the Weddle ones first because I don't think I would go back and learn it. Like they're harder than the other ones.
Yeah.
So, but okay, the other thing is your Ollie 540s are just on a different level. And when I watch them, having been able to do them, I still can't get it. You know what I mean? Because I know how to get around just to get my wheels on the wall and then kick turn in. And there's a height threshold for that he goes like twice as beyond.
Yeah.
I think we have the same technique though.
I mean, you might be thinking that your back wheels are hitting, you're kick turning around, but you are just landing a 540.
I definitely try to land them a little bit short. If I get one that's dead straight, that's a good day, but I'm usually like trying to, when I learned them, I was like, it's like a back three and you just pop a little harder and you'll just finish it.
Right.
Sort of thing. So I've always had that kind of idea in my head that it's like, you're doing it all the way up until here, and then you're looking and you're going to
just a little kick turn.
And then you do a kick turn. And I think when like at a certain point, you're just doing that kick turn, like slightly in the air sort of thing.
I just don't understand how I'm like a non-skater perspective. Like, how does the board stay on your feet? How do you guys do that?
Because it's a little bit different than everybody else's. People can do
is.
really big ollies, and I've seen them, but there's just a little bit of a difference with you. It's just a little bit more.
When I first tried
on there,
the first time I ever tried Ollie 5s, it was a joke.
And
I went up with the same amount of speed as a McTwist, and then just did that like, would that be crazy? And everyone's like, yeah, that's not going to work. And then I figured out how to do it at coping level and do the kick turn technique, and it worked. But then you took it to that fantasy world that I started at, and it's amazing.
Yeah. I think part of it too is like, I don't do a lot of tricks so I kind of just like continually like working on the same things.
Perfecting
we
them.
might disagree with that sentiment. I understand what you're trying to say.
But people can do like a lot of like,
You're not trying to work on trick variations all the time.
No. I really like continually like working on things and
you can tell.
trying to like push them a little bit.
It's working.
Thanks.
Stay on that. That
This is
plan.
funny because I'd never really think about how I do things or how I skate. So then when people ask me about them, I'm like, it's a good question. Like,
someone asked me once,
It's probably better
how
that
do
way.
you do an invert? Like, where do you look? And I was like,
Oh, I don't.
I don't know. And I was like, let me do one.
Yeah.
Just
then
to,
you're like-
just to refresh myself.
Yeah.
And then I came back up on the deck and I was like, I don't think I look at anything.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything.
It's how it feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just did an invert. I couldn't help them. I was like, I don't know where I look. And then I did another one. I was like, really look where you're looking. And I'm like, you're looking at that. I'm looking at that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't look at a spot.
Yeah.
I'm in a hand plant. My eyes are open.
I'm looking at my hand. Because
No
I know,
way.
yeah, because I know the perspective from my hand to the wall. So I know if that perspective is off, I'm too far over the deck. I'm too
Oh,
far out.
I should try that.
It's more feeling too, but
Yeah, yeah.
definitely it's like
Yeah.
there it is.
There's definitely people that can, really think about skating and every step and where you look and how you do all these things, like Mitchie or I'm sure Rodney, but I don't do that. You
Yeah.
know? Like my approach to it is almost purely based off like how it feels.
Yeah.
And maybe that's like a slower way to learn things or a different way to learn things, but I could maybe like try and dissect it later, but I can't. Like when I'm doing it, it's not effective for me to do
Yeah.
that.
It looks like you're not doing it based off somebody else's. It looks like you were born and your mum had a vert ramp. You didn't know skateboarding. You just thought you were the only one.
But
This is what
who were the skaters you were looking at and wanting to emulate? if any?
I pretty much anyone who did it, I thought was like the coolest person in the world.
Anyone who skated vert.
Anyone who skated vert. And when I got older, you know, my interest became like a little bit more like narrowed because I had a bit more of like a reference for like how, like, I can imagine how some of these things are done, but I really don't understand how that guy's doing it like that way, you know? And I think that was like where my interest started going. And a lot of that was like Alex Perelson, Chris Miller, and Max Schaff. But I mean, my interest in vert skating is like really broad. Like I still watch everyone's stuff, and I anyone who does it, like I'm a fan of, you know?
Right. I knew you had to say Chris Miller.
Yeah.
That's what you are. No disrespect to either one of you. There's
a little bit of Buster too.
Yes. Oh yeah. Which is also a little bit of Chris Miller.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
I know. But Buster was not a carbon copy.
Buster and I were on planet Earth pretending to be Chris Miller.
Yeah.
I feel like that. I mean, when you're younger, you're definitely just trying to emulate like everyone, you know.
I felt like
you do fast plants.
What?
You do fast plants, right?
Yeah.
Does your foot hit though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I posted a video of a fast plant 540 recently.
Yeah.
Because I just found it. I knew I had the sequence of it, but I actually found the video of it. And someone commented like, "Well, isn't it cooler just do a 1-footed 5? Or isn't that better?" I was like, no,
not at all.
No, this is so much harder.
A world of difference. Yeah. I used to do fast plant 3s and kind of just stopped doing them. It's a cool trick, but I couldn't.
Can you imagine?
I couldn't really do like a great fast plant. They're kind of just like you kick, you know, like.
But now you have fast plants, and now you could do that.
Maybe I think it's. I'm not sure if it would work.
Okay,
God, that's sick.
I'm gonna put in a special request for a video of that.
That
we can share with our Patreon.
I'll try and do one. It's been a while, but it'd be fun to do another.
Fast Plant 3. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That really does give me shivers.
Yeah.
Considering even trying it.
Yeah, it's such an ass whipping waiting to happen.
Your back foot doesn't get back on.
Yeah.
It works surprisingly well at a certain height.
For you.
Yeah, for you, exactly.
Don't take any of this guy's advice. I just like going real close to the side because it looks fast.
You know, fast plants are hard, but fast plants 3s are pretty easy.
No.
So,
can you surf?
I'm learning. I'm pretty bad at it.
Yeah,
but I like it. It's fun.
But you're not.
No, I'm
a
horrible.
surfer.
I'm horrible. Yeah, I've been surfing for like a year or so. Yeah.
What gave you the idea to? Why are you such a slasher? Like, is that from your pool skating or the whole carve grind thing that you do that not a lot of people do?
He does like the cess slide, power slide up to grind.
Yeah, where do all these...
The power slide grind came from...
It's very surf vibe.
Once I started surfing, I started trying to do like the backside ones and like other stuff, but the slide up to grind was not being able to do slappies on a curb, so I won that same feeling.
You wanted to feel like on slappy.
I feel like this whole podcast is me just sounding insane.
That's perfect.
I love it.
Yeah, I wanted to do a slappy, and I couldn't do them on curbs at the time.
So you're like, here's my slappy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
I'm terrible at those too.
Yeah.
I always used to be like, I'm good at doing grinds.
For me, it's hard to keep the front truck on.
Right.
Yeah. I just see some people that are just... It's so easy for them to do it. You know, like they can have a burger in their hand and crack a slappy. Like, you better get the camera out if I'm going to do one.
Yeah.
If I do one, we're leaving.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing a second one. Yeah. I used to skate with Ben Schroeder all the time, and he would just be so good at that. Like, he'd be flying too, and he just hit. It didn't matter what. If it was slick or not, he would just rip the shit out of it. And I'm like, I'll hit it. Just ass over it. I'm like, what is that? Why? I see what you're doing. Why am I not doing? Why is it not flying down the? Yeah.
When you see a good one, it just looks like they're just like the curb isn't even there.
Yeah.
They're just like somehow magically on it.
It's bullshit.
During the pandemic, we skated a lot of curbs, and I kind of got better at them, but it goes so fast. Like if you don't.
What
do it.
about, I think, what was the last thing you do? Back lip, like on a raised bar, and then come in,
Yeah, ollie in off it.
ollie in. How do you ollie in from a disaster?
You kind of just slap your wheels. Like
So you do hit your wheels.
you don't have to, but it'll give you a bit more of a boost. Like your nose is far enough over the ramp to where you can kind of just like, even if you're in the air, you can kind of just give it a
I like
shot.
how you're explaining it to us as if we're gonna go figure that out.
That was the first thing he actually made sense talking about. I was like,
I watched him do it. I understand the concept.
Yeah.
There's no way I could put it to use.
It works really well off extensions and like boxes and stuff. It's pretty hard off of like just a ramp. Like if you're doing it over a channel or something, like
You mean back lip ollie over channel?
yeah, you need like more height almost.
You can do that?
I've done a few, yeah. I was
I've
trying
seen
it. That's why I built that box that's out there. I was trying to just do it over the channel.
So, but actually clear the whole channel.
Yeah, like it was when the bridge was gone, and I was trying
Right.
to backlip and like get across, and I was just landing so low that I was like, I think I just need like a box or something.
Do you want us to take the bridge out?
Oh, man.
I think it's a little too slick to try it right now. Like you really got to take an insane angle at it. But
Right.
I would definitely try it again.
Do you like slick or grippy ramps?
I generally prefer slipperier ramps, but
Really?
there's some things for grippier ramps that you just like you can only do when it's grippy, you know?
Like what?
Like just certain lines mostly. Like
Because of the way you turn
Yeah.
it across the flat, like you can't turn it.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. Like you can really
You
like
got to trust it.
especially
Yeah.
doing airs out of lip tricks, like you can really lean into it.
Yeah.
And, like really get a lot of speed.
That was always my
yeah.
favorite
Yeah.
thing, to the point where I think I got a bad habit from it.
Leaning into it. Yeah.
Like I always, if I do something in the corner, I always like just lean heavy, but
yeah.
now I cannot do that.
Yeah. There's a period of time when we were skating the DC ramp a lot and here.
That was slick too.
It was like ice and here was grippy and you'd go from one to the other and you'd forget that you can't do it anymore.
Yeah,
And
wow.
you just get the rug taken out from
Yeah.
under you.
No, not cool.
or that revert spank.
Yeah.
I feel like slippery ramps made me more paranoid, which caused me to make the mistake.
Mhm.
Like I feel like I didn't have enough trust in myself.
Right.
If it was a slippery ramp and I was doing something that required me not to slip out,
Yeah.
I'd have this like, don't slip out, like right when I land, and then slip out.
Right.
Instead of just like knowing that I'm gonna
Yeah, you're almost like
make it.
stiffen up or
Yeah, I
something.
like jinx
yeah.
myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the thing I like about slick ramps is I feel like it makes your skating really precise.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're
Especially your spins.
yeah, especially spins. Like if you're skating in grippy ramp a lot and you go to a slick ramp, you're just like washing out as you're going up. But a slick ramp keeps you like almost like truer to like
It's like fives on metal ramps.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I grew up with metal ramps.
Yeah.
I had fives down on wooden ramps, and my home ramp was metal, and I didn't do a five on that for like maybe a year after I had fives, because I was like, fuck that.
Yeah,
This tin
yeah.
can is going to
Over
rip. Yeah. I had to know that I can always land straight
Yeah.
several times before I tried it on that ramp. I think I did it for a case of beer the first time.
Yeah.
I was like,
Sounds
oh, that's
about
worth it.
Yeah.
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 I
That's
commit-
on brand.
That's
I
worth it.
commit to that.
Yeah. What about I'm just gonna throw out my favorite hit list, but kickflip leans.
Mhm.
You seen him do those?
Yeah.
That's a pure like Alex Perelson inspiration and Max too. I think
Alex does them to revert, right?
yeah, he does. Yeah, him and Mitchie can both do them like front three
Yeah, that's
style,
right.
which is so gnarly.
Yeah.
But that was like my holy grail trick when I was growing up was kickflip lean.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you saw someone do it?
I'd seen Alex do it and I'd seen Max do it, and they both just did it like so good where I was just like, I have to learn that trick. And it was the hardest trick I've ever learned. I
Really?
think. Yeah. It was so outside of the realm of what I was capable of at the time, and I just forced it, and they were horrible. They were truly.
I don't know
terrible.
how you got it to be from horrible to the way you do it now.
Just a million of them. Just
Right.
kept doing it. Like for years, I would just catch it and just drop it and just like.
But you always had the flip.
No.
Oh, you
no.
didn't?
The flips were wild. Like they would flip, like turn backside. They would like, Musco flip. They would do everything but what I was trying to get it to do. And just from doing enough of them, I finally figured it out. But I still like. There's days.
I've never gotten my board to flip front side all the way to my hand.
Yeah.
Going front side. I can do body varial, but I cannot keep my board with my feet. I don't get it.
It helped me to stop thinking about it as a kickflip because it's really like you're almost just like letting the board move and hoping that your foot will catch it and it'll roll over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like
I did kickflip fronts of there.
Yeah.
It was one of those ones where I'd explain it like you, like, how do you do it? I'm like, I don't know.
yeah.
It just happened.
Yeah, but kickflip lean just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It was like I did kickflip melon, and that I was convinced that going lean would not be worth it for me because it was so hard to do that one. I'm like, man, I knew guys that were doing that.
It's such a different thing though, going front
it's
side. It's just not even
not
I don't
even
think it's
remotely
comparable
the same
at all.
trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
It's completely different for sure. But I was also like more natural at like kickflip backside air. So I thought it would be easier, but it's not even the same thing.
You mean kickflip backside air was easier than kickflip indie for you?
Yeah, I learned kickflip backside air first.
Wow.
Yeah. I had a hard time learning kickflip indies.
It's like a different era, right? Just to learn that first makes no sense.
I'm just glad we're humanizing you
Yeah.
to the world.
There's
He had a hard time learning kickflip indies, people.
Yeah, suffer.
Yeah, there's so many I can't do any heel flips. Like, I can do heel flip indies kinda, but none of that stuff is like within my like realm of skills. Like heel flipping, nope.
What do you think is next, like in the future for you? Like, Danny's and Tony's, where they just end up sort of making something else happen that no one's doing. Like, have you ever thought of? So I feel like maybe the ramps that they have today don't contain you. Like maybe you could build another thing that's just like Jimmy Wilkins style.
That'd be cool. It's kind of just like having the money to do that, really. Like ramps are so expensive.
Visions of something that?
Yeah, I definitely have a lot of ramp ideas.
What?
I always imagine like having a deck that you could lower so you could skate the coping like a flat bar.
Oh,
so you could lock
so you
in
can
and
get
go
way up on it.
Yeah,
and then balance like a double-sided coping.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
It would be so much. You'd need a really long ramp to make it worth it, but you could like basically the deck would drop down so the coping is sticking out like that.
Yeah.
And you could lock into grinds for way longer because the deck's not like pushing you back.
Yeah.
That'd be really fun.
I never even thought of that.
I've always wanted to do like
that.
Yeah.
Mine was more like an 80s street thing where it was two copings across a 2x4.
copings.
Two copings across the board so you can get up on it and just board slide.
Yeah.
Do that cab frontside board where you're just cruising.
It would be so much fun.
Yeah. Man, I would be into that.
It would be fun. It would be really fun.
I'm sure we can make it happen for a day or something.
You can like not
make
set
a
up
wish,
the decks
motherfucker.
on this thing. So I always imagine like
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
What?
Well, no, I
what?
mean
No,
like,
the decks on my ramp are connected to the coping.
Oh, they are. Oh, okay. Never mind then.
The decks on my ramp is the coping and that first part of Vert.
Oh,
the birdhouse
with the
sticker. That's
yeah.
all one piece.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Yeah. But there's other ideas too, but I think that's like the most exciting one.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, you'd be a good guy for that.
That would be our slappy move.
Yeah.
yeah.
See, now you're making me think I probably can't do it. So bad at that. I don't know what the fuck that is.
So what's next?
I don't know. I guess just
No kid having motherfucker. I don't know.
yeah.
Whatever.
I don't even know how I made that.
Yeah, just the contest that happened this year, and then try to work on a video part too with Chris, which would be fun. But
You already started?
no,
Oh,
he hit me up about it the other day. He's like, "We should do something," and I was like, "Yeah, we should."
we're trying to get a little edit together that Tim will shoot of him for this when it's out.
Yeah.
And if we don't get it, I'm going to cut that part out. I just said that.
We'll just edit that right out.
We'll pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah, I'll try to get a fast plant 3.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Dude,
that'd be fun to do.
that's very exciting.
Just to know that you like, I could probably do one of those for you.
Oh, I've got no idea. If I can.
If you don't have any idea about any of it, you do it all.
Yeah.
No, yeah. No.
I got to say, it was a blast in my brief Lakai years that we got to go places together because we were the only vert skaters.
Oh,
Man.
wow.
That was the funnest year of skateboarding I've ever had, I think. We went to Japan and Brazil in the same year.
And crazy demos.
Insane.
Packed.
Yeah.
Brazil was out of control.
Yeah. It was
Out of control.
It was tens of thousands of people. It was insane.
How many skaters?
It was like me
Well,
and
it
you
was
and
us
some
and
locals.
then all the locals, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Same with the one in Tokyo. It was like me and
Yeah.
you and maybe like Manch or Riley would do some grinds or something. But
Yeah.
That was pretty much it.
It was fun though.
It was so much
We
fun.
were the token vert skaters. But it ended up like the trips we went on, they were centered around our demos.
Right.
And then all the street skaters would go do their thing and get video and stuff like that and some demos, but everything was centralized on like, oh, the big vert demo's happening and it's Tony and Jimmy.
Just you two.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And we ate bees in Japan. Do you remember that? At that weird fancy restaurant, they had like fried rice with bees in it.
That's what he does.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I kept thinking they were saying beans, and then they gave me like the menu and it said bees.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
Were they good?
Yeah.
They were good.
They were. It was like almost like puffed rice or something. It wasn't like.
Yeah, it was there minimal.
Yeah.
So I've eaten with him where we eat crickets and fucking ants.
Yeah.
But that was, we went to a place where that was like their secret menu, big thing.
Right.
This
Right.
was just one little thing on the menu.
Now
that
it's just
kinda
like-
yeah, cool.
It was.
He ate like a tarantula's butt.
Just the butt.
I ate
No.
the whole thing.
I know, but he bit the butt off first.
Oh my God, you're so hung up on
Popped
that.
in his mouth. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
Was it alive?
No! May as well. I should have
Flash
said
fried.
yes.
Flash fried.
Flash fried.
Yeah.
Ugh.
He's so
So it
gross.
wasn't hairy. Oh, whatever.
Oh, stuff that's making me feel
Do you remember
sick.
we went to that bar in Tokyo, the Beatles bar?
Yeah.
That was sick.
They sounded almost exactly like the Beatles.
I thought you were saying you just ate a bunch of Beatles.
No.
but-
No,
We went to
no.
a bar that is Beatles themed.
Yeah.
And they have a cover band that can play every Beatles song.
Yeah.
And they sound exactly like them.
Exactly.
Japanese dudes, though.
Yeah.
Japanese dudes, yeah. And they
Did they
take
have-
requests. It was amazing.
Did
Yeah.
they have old school Beatles haircuts?
Yeah.
No,
Nice.
It was
And
pretty
they
insane.
barely spoke English.
Yeah.
They just know
They
the.
just
They know the lyrics
Yeah.
though.
And,
That was
like,
really cool.
yeah,
that was one of my funnest memories of touring. Like, and the whole Lakai team and Riley was there. And these guys were there.
It was so much fun.
That was cool.
I saw something the other day. Jackie Chan doesn't know how to speak English, and when he does all the English words in movies, that it's like hyphenated, and he's reading them off cards. So,
I have talked to him. He can speak English.
oh, okay.
It's a little broken, but he can.
Fucking liar. So I was in a movie with him and said, like, you know, it was like, cut. It's like, hey, man, like, you want to grab something afterwards? And he's like, and he's like, wait, you don't understand me?
There's probably like a
Yeah.
Maybe
maybe
he just
like
didn't like
earlier
that
in his
guy.
career or something. Like he's,
I did well. In fairness, I had a couple of drinks with him after this one event. At
Yeah.
a hotel lobby. It was amazing.
Wait, you and Jackie Chan
Yeah,
had a
yeah.
couple of drinks in a lobby.
No, a bottle of wine. He bought a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
And then we drank it. And then with his like business partner, but also translator.
Okay.
So when he would start getting into something that was more complicated, his dude was like, oh no, it's this.
okay.
But
But
I'll
he's
never-
there the whole time. Translator guy.
Yeah. He was there to
Wherever he goes.
He was with him, but it's definitely like the guy who is kind of his right hand man, but also gets the movie deals and gets, kind of like his agent, but definitely like always with him.
Yeah.
And he told me the story. Jackie told me the story. I know I'm off base here, but
No, this is sick.
Yeah,
Jackie
go for
told
it.
me the story that they were doing some stunt and he basically Wilsoned he's supposed to catch a tree or something. He kind of missed it and he Wilson and fell on the back of his head and cracked his skull.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it was bad, like really bad. But he's saying it so lighthearted, and you can see that his homie was just like, it was bad. And then he looked over at him and he goes, and he's crying.
Warlord.
Like making fun of him.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I get that. Yeah, that sounds really awful.
Yeah, he's similar to you in a lot of ways. Didn't he break his foot and then put a cast on and paint
did
it
it
like
and
a sneaker?
water skied.
And then did a bunch of stunts.
And
on
water
it.
skied, yeah.
Jackie Chan did.
Jackie Chan, yeah.
Wow.
There's a scene in this movie where if you slow-mo it, you see that he's actually wearing like a cast boot.
That's just like painted.
It's painted like the bottom of his jeans
Yeah.
and the sneaker to match the other leg.
Yeah.
And he was fully doing stuff.
He's awesome,
Dude.
man. He's awesome.
The show's got to go on, I guess.
That's a certain kind of person, I guess.
Yeah.
'Cause some people would.
Yeah,
Not-
or like breaking your pelvis. Wait, hey, high five, both of us.
yeah.
All right.
Hey, I'm so glad I'm not high fiving.
Broke our pelvis on the loop.
Yeah.
I got away in that was my only injury.
No,
besides
didn't you
my-
crack your skull?
I cracked
too?
my skull,
Yeah,
but-
I'd much
Forgot about
rather
that
break
one.
my arm than
I didn't
crack
have
my
to-
skull.
Yeah, and my thumb.
Yeah.
See that one?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
I feel like the thumb, like I was like, he's so gangster.
That changed my signature.
Yeah.
After that happened.
That's what.
Oh, wow.
That's what Galena was saying.
Yeah.
That's a serious injury, Tony Hawk.
All right. Anyway.
Broken pelvis.
Well, but
knocked
I
the
didn't.
fuck
I
out.
wasn't laid up for 6 months, so I feel like his was more traumatic.
Have you done the loop?
Just that one. Yeah, I didn't go back.
It's fair.
Yeah, I was thinking
If
about
you
it for
ever
a while.
really
but
wanted to do it, I'd put it up for you.
I was thinking about it for a while, and I was kind of like, I feel like I got close enough, and I had fun trying it to
Yeah.
where like,
That's how Riley feels.
it's it was
Like Riley got around,
yeah,
and then he hit the flat.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I feel like
He got the feeling of it.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can do
You
it.
got the
and,
feeling
like
of it.
got the feeling, and got a good slam. So
Is that on
nothing to
video?
go back for it. Yeah. Do you want to see it?
Yeah, it
No.
sucks.
You guys can watch it if you want. I'm all right.
That's not what I wanted to offer the Patreon
Oh,
subscribers.
yeah, don't
But
worry
if
about
they
it.
want to see it, we'll show them
Gotta
that.
see a gruesome slam.
I hate to say it, but I bet you
I
they
think
do.
Jared has an angle of it that I haven't seen. He probably has like a really good fisheye.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, after that happened, we didn't talk about it. We didn't tell anyone, and a lot of people were asking me, and I was like, "That's Jimmy's story to tell. I'm not trumping. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the town crier. Like, everyone, Jimmy got hurt.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to post about it for a while because I was like, I don't want it to like discourage people from like if they really want to do it. I don't want to turn people off of like doing what they want to do.
Makes me want to do it more.
And then I was like, it's pretty cool, so I'm gonna share it. Like, Atiba's got like a amazing photo of me like upside down, my board's like heading straight for him, and then the video is just like wild. So I thought it was a cool thing to put up.
It's your thing. That's so when I got hurt on it, that footage was locked away because it was for Wild Boys. So
Right.
Tremaine had it for Jackass, and then years later they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do this show for MTV about your worst injury," and I go, "Okay, maybe that's when I can let it go."
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So then they contacted Tremaine because it was MTV, same family, and immediately Tremaine called me. He's like, "Someone's asking me for your loop slam. Like, do you really want?" I go, "It's fine. Like, let it go. I'm past it. I'm healed."
Yeah.
It's more when you're in that healing stage. I mean, that's where I am right now with my leg. I don't want to share anything because I just want to wait till I'm on the other side of it.
Yeah. I'd waited like a good amount of time too, because when I first came back, every time I'd loop back, like, or just like have a little weight back, I'd kind of get these like flashes of that feeling.
Yeah.
And I was just like it kind of like, you know, it wasn't like much of a hang up, but it was definitely uncomfortable. And when I was going to the hospital, I'd showed all the EMTs the video. I'd showed like everyone in the hospital, and I have no memory of the video.
Yeah.
So I was like, it must have been like a little traumatic. So
fuck yeah.
I didn't immediately want to do it. And then like a year later, I was watching it and I was like, oh, okay. Like
I got spooked on the Mega Ramp. I hit the coping, and ever since that day when I skated the Mega Ramp, it was less enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because I had that thing just in the back of my head where it was just like, don't go over the deck.
Yeah.
Ever again.
Yeah.
And it would kind of ruin, I obviously kept going for a long time after, but I specifically remember, and that's when I didn't remember a lot of stuff, that every time I hit that quarter pipe, do not go over the deck.
Yeah.
Remember that slam? Yes, I remember that slam. I promise
My experience was opposite of yours because I didn't really want to see the footage after I fell. You know, I was just like, I don't want to relive it or whatever. I know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And Bucky and Bob came to my house the day after I got out of the hospital just to, you know, give me good vibes and get my hopes up, and then immediately just show me the video.
Oh, man.
Bob pulls it out. You want to see it? I'm like, I guess.
Yeah. Ugh.
And I'm just stuck in bed. Like, I am immobile.
Yeah.
It does. That is a thing.
Okay, I'll watch it, I guess, since you guys are into it.
I got knocked out in Australia once, and this before social media, and I woke up, I did the demo, I finished doing the demo, and then stayed in a hotel, went to another city, and then someone goes, hey man, I got that footage of that slam. I was like, oh cool, show me. It was a backside tail grab. I used to go to tail late, and I went a little too early and locked it up, and I don't have your ability. And I just like right on the front of the head to the flat, like boom. And I was did like convulsions and shit, but I saw it and it ruined me.
No.
Like I could not skate hard for like 6 months at least. What is the most fun trick you've ever done in your life? There you go.
Most fun trick. I really like doing back threes. I think that's probably the funnest trick.
Yeah.
No grab.
Yeah. Those are, I've had a few that feel like pretty good and fun.
Yeah. What about those backside ollies where you tweak your legs? Does that feel good?
Yeah, that's amazing.
They do sometimes. Like sometimes they like I'll have like a little stretch where I'm like it feels really solid and good, and other times it's like a little loose and I'm kind of like
Would you call that a kind of a crooked cop or nose bone?
His legs go the other way, don't they?
Yeah, it's kind of the other way. I don't
Like
know.
a shifty?
It doesn't
feel
really
like
shifty.
What do you call? Like he's kind of in
Doesn't
a
matter. He
stale
just
fish
does
without grabbing it. Like he does like a
Like a crooked cop.
Yeah,
crooked
almost like
cop's
a
the front.
No, it's more like a tuck knee, if like or like a chicken wing.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
nah.
Yeah, I know what
The
you're
chicken
saying.
wings
Yeah.
between the leg.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, now we've lost the plot.
Whatever. Fucking Vert skaters on a podcast. What is that?
Oh no,
What does it say?
micro SD
Oh,
card.
limited space remaining. It's okay.
Fuck.
There has to be.
Let's get out of here.
Okay, we got to get out of here. we got to make sure this is saved.
Yeah.
All right, Jimmy, thank you.
Thank you,
yeah.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Everybody
Thanks for
should,
having
if you
me.
ever see
Fascinating.
Jimmy, thank him. If you see him on the streets, go up to him, kiss him. He's a fucking miracle, and he saved all of us.
He has, and he's keeping the Vert torch alive. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me, guys. It was fun.
Okay.